Hey folks, it's Lindsey Haralson with SPS back in the building over at the Detroit Pizza Bar on the west side of Detroit for Championship Sunday. And I'm here with my guy, Coach E.J. Haralson Jr. Representing Coach, you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Man, I appreciate you being available. I want to congratulate you on, first of all, a stellar career at Wayne State. It would have been 20 years this year, but you got that call to be the person to make those call those timeouts. And as the coach of Schoolcraft College, it's been a year in, and it's going well, I would think.
Yes, going really well. We struggled a little bit last year. Had some guys that were really hard workers. Just were young, with it being a COVID year and a lot of schools having guys that had played. This being their third year in, we having a lot of freshmen. It was a struggle for us, but got a full year recruiting under my belt. We reloading, got some good guys coming in, and I'm excited about this season.
Yeah, I praised you earlier about Prince Jackson from North Farmington, young man I had some time to spend some time with. He went through some adversity himself, but what does it mean having a guy like him being part of your new crew coming in?
Well, he's a fierce competitor. He loves to play. Is always in the gym. He's a hard worker. Anytime I talk to him, he's either on his way to the gym or leaving from the gym. He's just tough, man. Tough, has a good defensive mindset, can score the ball as well. But in addition to Prince, we also have we have a few other guys that are pretty good. We got Mikael Dobbs from Michigan Collegiate. We got Noah Range from Michigan Collegiate as well. We have a guy Romel Hightower from Toledo Player of the Year there. So we got some guys that's pretty good pieces. I would be remiss to mention we got Elijah Warren also is transferring in, so we got some guys that are pretty good. So we're excited. We're excited about this group.
That's great. Now you have your fingerprint on it. These are guys that you've been able to watch and bring in. I think about all the times we would be out in the community at the games, and we will always have a sidebar. And you've always struck me as someone that it wasn't always just about coaching the games. It was really about building community, pouring into these young men, and really setting a standard. So for you to be able to have your own program and really kind of leave an imprint, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Just like you mentioned about my career at Wayne State, but then prior to being there, I was coaching Finney High School as well. So coaching has always been my passion. I started it right away as soon as I got out of playing. As soon as I stopped playing myself. But the main thing that I got into coaching, basketball is just the conduit in which we use to connect with the youth. Really, it's all about being good young men and having an opportunity to get an education, so you can be a productive citizen and you can provide for your family. And that's the biggest thing. I know that myself coming up, came from very little means, had two loving parents that worked really hard, but just didn't have an opportunity to send me to college. So through basketball, I was able to get a free education, and that was very important for me, and it helped my family out a lot, and it helped me out a lot. So I just want to pay it forward. I got some young men that love to play sports, and now it's just my responsibility to show them the other side to it, that you have to be a student athlete, student first.
I could just think of many a gym sitting with you, man, and we'll probably miss most of the game because we get to talking about the state of affairs and what's going on. But just look what's happened that time, along with the great news that you getting this head coaching job at Schoolcraft. This portal has come into play, and the community college level has kind of shifted in its importance, because kids used to kind of look past that and look for D1, and with the portal, with COVID, things have changed. So a place like Schoolcraft, and you being a new coach with such great experience, makes it a very unique space. What has that overall transition been like for you, even with all these other new things that are happening?
Well, the transition for me has been, I think it's been a learning experience for everybody, because with this transfer portal, now you have a different demographic or different dynamic kid that you're able to recruit. So most of the time when you look at junior college, most people either look at it, and it's not necessarily a lower level of basketball, but it's just mostly identified as a place for student athletes that have grade issues. But now, because of the transfer portal, and a lot of these 4-year schools are playing musical chairs with these 4-year players, and they're because they're doing that now, the group that suffers the most is the high school kids. So now you can look at it now. You look at the scene, you see very little information on social media or that's out there about high school players signing or committing with 4-year schools. You're starting to hear more of transfers and guys in the portal, and those guys are committing. So you're still hearing where guys are going, but there's just very few from the high school level.
There's only so many
and it's very difficult right now. So now we get a chance to have young men that are good students. So now what you'll see is probably fewer turnover at the junior college level, where you see some guys that are normally junior college. They tell you get a really big roster because you may lose a few guys at the break. But now that's different. You know, you mentioned Prince earlier. He's graduating with a 3.4 GPA, which is really impressive. So you know, and we have other guys that are good academic students as well. But what you have to do is create another space for those guys to be continually recruited, because now what the going conversation is that majority of four-year schools are either recruiting junior colleges or they're recruiting transfers, and the reason being is because their dynamic is different. So now you have to have this microwave success. So now these coaches have to win right away. So now it's very little time to develop. So now you have to be ready to play, or you have to come from a situation where you're able to jump in the fire right away. And that's why most coaches are recruiting that transfer portal or in junior college.
Somebody's had that experience. As we transition with that, but you kind of touched on it, the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network has come on as a partner with Sports Psychology Solutions. So this is May, this is Mental Health Month. But talking about from a mental health standpoint, not even just the mental toughness, but what are you seeing, or what are some other things that you have to take into account with the players that you recruit and the players that you deal with now that you have this new dynamic where the community college is almost a unique quality player that's coming in?
Well, mental health plays a big role in sports overall. You know, a lot of times you see it at the professional level because they have the financial resources to put behind it. But I think it's really important at the high school level, because now you're dealing with a bunch of young men and young women who have a desire to play sports. But then when you start talking about the 6% that get a chance to go to college, and even fewer percent that get a chance to go and play at the professional ranks, now you have a young man that's and I continue to say young man because I coach men's sports, but you have a young man that has done really well for himself, has played, has been named all city, all state, whatever accolades he has. How do you get them to understand and deal with the fact that they may not have those scholarship offers like they thought they had? So now that's a mental piece that they have to deal with. So now you're having a conversation with a young man who, in different situations, had the transfer portal not been here, would have had a 4-year scholarship. So now as a junior college coach, we have to have those conversations, and we have to deal with that mental aspect of it, because now it's almost like you're taking a young man who's been broken from the standpoint that in any other situation they'd had 3 or 4 different 4-year offers. But now you have to convince them that this is not a secondary option. This is just a pivot in what you're trying to do. So getting them to maintain a positive mental health is really important. And I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of it's going to be space for that opportunity, in my perspective, if we want to deal with the whole kid. So I'm also dean of students at Henry Ford High School. So, and one of the mission statements is about dealing with the whole child, the whole community. So now when you start dealing with that, so now you have to talk about things outside of basketball, because it's affecting them in the environment that we in, the fact that they're did everything that you're supposed to do. As coach, we did everything my coach asked me to. My coach did everything he was supposed to. There's coaches out here, high school coaches, that doesn't get the acknowledgement, but they're on the phone all day. They're trying to talk to these other coaches about kids, and a lot of these 4-year schools are really just wanting guys that are ready now, that has has that experience now. So it's unfortunate. So I know there's parents that's upset with high school coaches, and there's also they just have to understand that just the dynamic of where we're going right now is really difficult. So,
well, congratulations in that role over at Henry Ford as a proud Henry Ford alum. I know that's a great thing, and couldn't be a better person suited to, one, do the work at Henry Ford as dean of students with you, but also be that person as a college coach that they have to talk to during this transition. Because, not to patronize you, but part of what we would always talk about is that holistic approach. So instead of you just focusing on drawing up the X's and O's for the win, kind of development has always been your thing. And I remember when you were about to transition, you talked about kind of feeling out what different things you want to do. What made you finally decide that, you know, you wanted to pursue this opportunity with Schoolcraft College when there were some other things you could have done, or you were even thinking about not necessarily being about coaching all the time at that one point?
Yeah, so really the biggest thing is, one, you know, me, I'm a competitor. So, you know, I struggled a little bit as the interim coach at Wayne State, and that just didn't sit well for me. So, you know, and as I grow and I develop as a coach, I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to get better. So I knew that that bug hadn't left me. There were some opportunities outside of coaching for me to stay within athletics, or just to continue to teach in higher education. But, you know, I knew that I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I walked away from it like that. So that was the one thing. And then the other piece is just continuing to have a passion to develop young people. So, and that's why it's a great situation at Schoolcraft, one, because they allow me to do it the way that I want to do it. I have a great athletic director in Patrick Yelsick, who we conversate on a regular basis, and, you know, he know I'm familiar with all the compliance rules and everything, and he knows that I'm not going to break any rules. And then just having an opportunity to build it from the ground up, so to speak, just to kind of take your program, get a chance to pick the type of players that you want, get a chance to develop them and grow them into, so they can, you know, fulfill their dreams. I remember being a high school athlete and wanting to be recruited and not being able to go where I wanted to go right away, and still having to come this process, because I played junior college myself. So just being able to understand that, I'm you know, I appreciate this role that I'm in, because now I'm living proof that you can go through these ranks and have some success.
Yeah, because your career, you know,